Smile to death. This is chapter 13. Chapter 13 begins part 5. Part 5. Pay attention. Smile to death despite the fact that it will always win and will always take away things from us. It's a considerable challenge, isn't it? Because we are, as a pretty arrogant creatures, sometimes in a place where we want or we would try, but do our best to overcome death, to win death. This is, I would say, a constant fantasy. And as I said before, there's nothing wrong in wishing to have long life, to expand life's possibilities, to live longer, to see how it is when you're 80, 90, 100, 110. Yet, it's not a matter of winning death. Never. It's a matter of understanding life that is connected always. Life in its basics, in its basis, as a phenomenon, is connected to death. The fact that I'm talking to you now is related to other parts in me that their main space of presence or living, or whatever you want to call these unexplainable territories, their place is in places that we refer to as death. And this place is always in communication with me, not only with me, with you, with everyone else. This is part of the scene. This is part of the show. It is part of existence. It is together. So, this is what chapter 13 says. The illusion of the need to win death makes people stay far away from the truth, keeping them away from the real information they need to have a better life. Once we put energy and resources and influence on other people around winning death, it is as if we are in a constant struggle, war, conflict with that part of existence. We prefer to deny its existence. Only when someone dies and we go to a funeral, then it hits us again. Oh, death. So sad, so painful. Suddenly we are afraid of this destiny. But still, we keep on denying that this is our own destiny. And I can understand this denial, because as long as we cannot smile to death, as long as we cannot see it as part of the show, part of the game, something that exists here and now, not something that is waiting for us in the end, that represents end, that represents, when everything is over. This is really a gloomy way to define or to relate to death, and a very narrow one, and I would add a very ignorant one. But if this is the way we appreciate death, so all we want to do is to delay as much as possible to get more victories, so we can overcome and live longer and longer and longer. So we postpone this passage that is waiting for us in the future. If our motive is driven by a conflict, by lack of dialogue with these other parts of us, then the things that we do in trying to overcome death just strengthen the wall, widen the wall between us and our true self, our true story. Communicating with death, with this other place that we belong to, can help us become healthier, can help us actually, if possible, if appropriate, live longer. But not because we tried to overcome this space, because when we try to overcome it, we ignore it, we increase our denial, we're actually staying in fear, not such a good deal, but out of cooperation, a dialogue. So when we are in a dialogue, when we smile to death, we can open our heart and mind to higher knowledge that can guide us and assist us about how to balance our body, how to eat in the best way for our health, how to behave, how to work, how to breathe. Our intuition then gets much better. We make better decisions. We organize our life better. And we are always in connection with the other parts of our life that are there always. And actually, the fact that we are here is due to our decision when we were there to come here for some purposes. And the version of us over there always monitor us and keep on guiding us so we can serve the purposes that we were sent here to serve. It is always for this space. The bigger story is over there, but it's hard for us to see. The more we develop, the more we smile to death, our heart opens, our resistance is reduced, and we can open our mind to such story that says that all this drama of fearing death or the need to overcome it or, creating more and more tools to live longer just because we are afraid of death, just because we are so ignorant and so arrogant to think that what we have here is everything. This phenomenon eventually leads to violence, to indifference, to kind of legitimacy to hurt people. And I will be glad to explain this more later, how it works. I described it in my book, How to Stop a Holocaust. When we deny our higher and wider truth, but still part of us is longing home, but in denial of home, then we kind of attracted to mess with death, not in the legitimate way. But I will explain in detail later. What I'm saying, that there is a price for this. There is a price for us trying to fight death, to win death. Because the need to fight or to win creates ignorance, creates denial, creates misunderstandings, And although we may consider ourselves as wise, as clever, as progressed, with all these computers and technologies, everything goes fast. At the same time, we decline our spiritual knowledge as if it is not that important, because we are always busy trying to beat death more effectively. And I'm saying here in Smile to Death that this is pretty stupid, and it's time for us to get wiser, to see the bigger picture, and stop this habit, this conditioning of fearing death, because death may be a very sweet place to be. Our source, our origin, our home, and maybe the whole psychological truth is to say, yes, it may be so, and I forgot it, or I wasn't able to deal with it, because there is a psychological price for understanding the truth. Always. It's always been like this. But I will leave this for future chapters. What I'm saying here now, there's no fight here, really. No one can win death, because death is not something you can win. You cannot win something that is part of you. It's not against you. It's not an opponent. It's part of you. If it's your friends, it's your source, it's your fuel, you cannot win this. All you can do is just stay remote, ignorant. But this is not why we came here. We came here to smile to death, and we'll continue.